All right. Hello. Welcome to the Emergency Pizza Hotline. This is part 2 of Star Wars. We're going to be talking Star Wars, and everything Star Wars.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Star Wars?
We're going to talk about Star Wars.
Okay. Sure.
I want to start this video off by saying there's some huge-ass spoilers that are about to occur.
This is going to be a spoiler podcast. We're allowed to let it all out in this.
Yeah, we're going ham. We're not doing a spoiler-free review because what's the point?
Exactly. All right.
Exactly.
It's Star Wars. It's Star Wars. So we're going to start it off with, well, first of all, we got DT here.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on? Good to have you back.
Good to be back.
We got Brad Vidrios here.
Yeah, hey. Hi.
I'm Jake Woods. I'm the host. Let's get down to business.
All right.
We're going to start off with what we liked about Star Wars The Force Awakens. DT.
Everything.
Give it to me.
Yeah, all right. It was.
Give it to me.
It was pretty amazing. I'm not going to lie. J.J. Abrams really did a great piece of work. I'm a little upset, though, because he's not directing the second one. So
but
now,
he will be producing it.
Yeah. So I'm a little like
nervous.
Yeah, because this one set the bar pretty high.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like the prequels. It wasn't a 1, 2, or 3. It was actually beautifully done, and it kind of like just like reaffirmed the Star Wars saga. Like it was just like, we're back, bitches. Star Wars for life. S-dub, full L.
So like, what were some of the parts of the movie that you liked? And you can be totally spoiler heavy.
Okay. One of the things that stick out in my mind that I really liked was when the TIE Fighter was chasing the Millennium Falcon, and the Millennium Falcon takes a hit, and it actually did damage to the ship to where the gun was stuck in the forward position. I thought that was fucking badass, and the fact that Rey was able to like maneuver the ship into a position where she hits like a backflip, cuts everything off, and then puts them in a position to where
she was drifting. She was drifting in the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, and she fucking hit that. It was almost like a Top Gun move, like when he fucking throws on the brakes to get behind.
Yeah,
in Top Gun, and then she fucking went inverted. Yeah, she inverted and everything, and it was like boom, shoot him, and Finn, I got it. I was like,
and Finn felt like he was on top of the world, but he didn't really do that. He just pressed the button.
Yeah, he just pressed the button. But at the same time, like that was fucking badass. One of my favorite parts of the movie. And I only seen the movie once, so like a lot of things aren't really fresh in my mind right now. But I'm going to go see it again, and oh my gosh, I got some things I got to look for, and like it's gonna be crazy.
I like that part. But I can see a lot of people hating that part because I think that's one of the moves that makes this Star Wars very different from every other Star Wars is like actual like damage to the Millennium Falcon. Like it's these people in...
When you say in the original one,
in the New Hope,
get damage?
Well, I mean, they got shot at, but like it wasn't...
It lost a fucking...
hyperdrive.
It lost the satellite.
Yeah, but no one was complaining about that.
No one's complaining about the gun.
I am. I'm complaining about the gun.
Yeah,
I'm not. It's not that big a thing to me. It's just very different.
She couldn't get the shields up.
And it's one of those things, yeah, but it's one of those things I could see people not liking because it feels in this movie like everyone's a lot more vulnerable than everyone was in the past movies.
Okay, we're not talking about what we dislike. We're talking about what we like.
Come on, asshole, stay on topic.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. My bad.
We'll get to what we don't like.
I'll stay out. I don't like anything.
I hate this movie.
This movie was the worst one. This is worse than episode 2.
No. Very like episode 2 is just a bad movie. Like not only is it not a good Star Wars movie, that movie is bad.
We've already discussed.
But we're not going to talk about. Yeah, I was just going to say we're not going to talk about it.
What else do you like about this movie, DJ?
It's I don't know. I liked it. Ben, aka Kylo Ren,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Solo.
Ben Solo.
Also Honda's.
Oh, shit,
Might as well get it out of the way.
right off the back. Chewbacca got injured. Just so you know, no one cares about the Wookiees, but
Whatever.
Han Solo's son kills him.
oh,
Han
shit.
Solo's son, Kylo Ren, kills him.
You've been the guy that's been going on all those Star Wars posts and posting that shit.
No,
That's
I
been
haven't.
You. It's been you.
I've been like, I didn't see it until Monday, and I was on friggin' social media blackout because I was like, I am not. Gonna
yeah,
let anyone
yeah,
spoil
it was
this
a
for
good
me.
decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Han Solo dies is my Dumbledore dies because I wasn't a Harry Potter guy. So anytime this movie gets talked about, I just right off the bat like Han Solo dies. It's like you have to preface every conversation about this movie with that.
All right. So, Brad, what do you like about the movie?
I like Rey.
Like, what are some standout things?
I just like Rey. I think Rey is the standout thing.
Yeah.
I think really the characters are the standout thing. I think Finn and Rey and Poe are all really cool. Yeah, that moment on Jakku when they get the Millennium Falcon up and that drift, that was pretty cool. I can't. There's a lot of things I'm thinking about, so I can't really think of anything specific right now. Can you go first and then
All right.
give me some time to think?
All right. So there's a couple things that like really stand out to me, and the main thing that really stands out to me is Daisy Ridley as Rey.
Okay.
She was definitely the standout performance of the movie.
Yeah.
So like,
Absolutely.
just fantastic to know that this girl has never been on a set longer than 2 weeks until she was in Star Wars. She was just some girl at, I think, Cambridge University, first year, and she just went to that audition, and JJ's like, I like her. And she was easily the best part of that movie. Rey was amazing. The another thing that really stands out for me is the lightsaber battles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They go back to like a classic style of like episode 1, episode 4, episode 5, episode 6 kind of lightsaber battles. Like when like the very first lightsaber battle you get between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader is like very like slow and like intense, and like this one is sort of like that, but they're younger people.
Yeah.
And they don't really know what they're doing, including Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
You could tell he doesn't really have much training when it comes to lightsaber. I mean, and when you think about it, Kylo Ren is like very out of practice when it comes to lightsaber or anything, or using the Force for that matter. The only people he ever uses the Force on are his own people, which he can do so easily because they're manipulated by birth. Their minds are weak as hell. So, and the only time he ever uses his lightsaber is if he gets mad and he's like, I need to destroy my MacBook because it won't work right. Like, so the fact that he sucks with a lightsaber makes a lot of sense in my mind. Even if he was trained at one point, you can tell he's been on this base for a while.
But you can also tell that he's not very well trained with the lightsaber because of the jankiness of his lightsaber's beam.
Yeah. Well,
and I think that's intentional. I feel like because if you look at Rey's lightsaber or Anakin Skywalker's / Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, the beam is perfect, and Ben Solo's beam isn't perfect. And I feel like that's intentional because...
And that's another thing about this movie.
Trained.
The practical effects that are in this movie and the lightsabers just look amazing.
That's the thing. When
And
I
the
first saw the
lasers.
trailer for Star Wars, I thought that new lightsaber looked stupid. I hated Kylo Ren's lightsaber. But actually seeing him swing it around and seeing it in those fights at the end of the movie, that thing looks awesome when he's using it.
And the freaking crossbar is fucking ingenious because of those when they lock up and like you
and he gets to burn Finn.
Yeah, he burns Finn. I was like, that's so practical now. Now that makes sense because how many times have we seen in the other Star Wars
where they get close like that,
close like that, and then they're like locked for a little bit, and then someone like uses a force push or something, but no one actually does damage to the next person because of that lock. Now you have a practical lightsaber that can actually do a little bit of damage before you guys break off.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. But while we're still talking about Ben Solo, how fucking awesome was that when he fucking stopped the blaster blast and it stayed there for so fucking long while he's like doing other shit, and then like he still has them focused on like that blaster blast, and then he finally walks off and he's like, oh yeah, let me let that go, and then
I don't know if we'll be able to. I would like to talk about this because I saw it opening night at 10 p.m. and my theater was very geeky, and I met some really awesome people waiting in line for the movie. And I remember like that's right at the beginning of the movie when he stops that blaster. And I remember the theater like gasping and going. I heard two people like behind me go like, "Holy shit!" Like a brand new force power that we've never seen anything really like that. Where he stops the blaster and Poe, like he can't move.
And he did that to Rey later, and then like he's also like reading people's minds and like getting into their heads and like.
But the whole reading people's mind thing, I didn't put past him because. If you remember in episode 1, The Phantom Menace, when Anakin's given the test, Yoda, in a very sneaky way, is reading his emotions and he senses it. And I feel like reading people's mind was just sensing the Force.
Yeah, I feel like Darth Vader probably could have done that. We just didn't see him do it.
Yeah.
He never had an opportunity that he had to do that. So, I mean, I don't think it's far off that Darth Vader could do that.
I actually did think of a cool scene that I really liked.
Okay.
And it was on Maz. Is that her name? Maz?
Maz Kanata?
Yeah. On Maz's planet.
Or whatever.
When the First Order, when they come in and they attack it, and the whole place blows up, and Finn has the lightsaber, and that one stormtrooper yells out "traitor," and then pulls that like baton out. That fight to me was really cool. That was the first time you see someone really use a lightsaber.
Yeah, I'll talk about that scene a little more later.
I liked that, and plus it was like, oh, they have materials now that can stop lightsabers.
Yep, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like
I think they had those materials in episode. I want to say, was it 2 or 3 when they were finding General Grievous's?
It's 3, yeah.
Drones. Those drones
batons,
Yeah, they had those batons.
His bodyguards had those.
Speaking about that scene, I'm sorry to cut you off, but speaking about that scene, there's a part in it that really made me like, I was like, oh shit, because how many times have you heard about Resistance having like, or the Rebels having a top elite fighter pilot, but we never really see the top elite. It's everyone doing the same shit. But then you see Poe come in and he shoots some niggas on the ground. Then he does a backflip, shoots a fucking TIE fighter, then turns and shoots another TIE fighter, then hits some more stormtroopers on the ground, then hits another backflip. And I was like, wow, he's fucking badass.
Well, that was the next thing I really wanted to touch on. And most of the things I want to touch on are really the actors, because I think the actors that are in this movie actually did some serious acting.
Oh, yeah.
And Oscar Isaac as Poe was amazing. And really I mean, he was in it for only a bit, you know, but he was very pivotal. And they built a better friendship between Poe and Finn than they did in all of not the original trilogy, but the new trilogy.
1, 2, and 3?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Between Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Yeah, and I agree.
A better friendship in 5 minutes of them being like, oh, what's your name? FN 2187.
That's all they gave me. FN.
Finn. I like Finn. You. Boom. Best friends, and I'm okay with it.
And then like they're when they got back together, he's like, "Oh, you brought him back. You can complete my mission." It's like, "Well, I got ejected from the spaceship. I came and I saw no ship. I couldn't find you." And they're like, they really genuinely cared about each other when they saw each other again.
I honestly can't wait to see more of like Oscar Isaac,
because his first interaction with Kylo Ren was fucking hilarious, and I felt like it set the tone when he goes, "So who talk first? You talk first. I talk first."
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, that's fucking hilarious."
I liked that, but it also made me nervous at the
he's
same
gotta-
time. I was like,
Yeah.
that's pretty campy. But
yeah,
I'm
I was like at the very start of the movie, and they're already going to try this humor stuff.
But then I realized like it was really character development for him because I feel like he's gonna be like the new Han Solo type
That's
character.
what I was thinking.
You know, he's not gonna be like a smuggler or anything like that.
No.
But he is gonna be that kind of guy where he's a little bit more rough around the edges and a bit more like jokey.
And
as,
I feel
as
like
compared to like Rey, who's gonna be more like the Luke, where she's just like innocent and like wants to do everything for, you know, peace and freedom and the
what's
American
funny?
way.
You know what's funny is I agree, but then kind of disagree about Rey being the new Luke. I feel like
We'll talk theories.
just character development. I feel like Finn was a more fit for the new Luke, not in the sense of like the Jedi and everything, but like emotionally, he matches Luke better because of the whole like selfishness that Luke had in the beginning, and then like the unknowing, like the unsureness of himself. Like, dude, I kind of have to, because like it's the right thing to do. But then at the same time, it's like, but I want to go to Tashi Stations to get some power converters.
Yeah.
Like, I got to run far away from here. Like, I know the First Order. Like, you don't know them.
So while we're on the topic of like actors and stuff, what did you think of Kylo Ren as an actor? Like, how did you feel about that? I know everyone's kind of had mixed reviews. Either you really freaking love him or you just didn't like him very much.
Honestly, I felt he brought way more emotion to like the character and the development of like what it really means to like be venturing to the dark side than any other character has brought. Hayden Christensen was horrible at bringing that, and you had 3 movies for him to bring that in,
and that's the thing I've
never
heard,
really got that sense.
That's the thing I've
like,
heard, where it's like he's kind of like the Anakin Skywalker that we all wanted.
Exactly. You know? That's how I feel. I felt like it was perfect, and then his voice was badass.
Amazing,
with the
man.
Yeah.
Like,
even with the mask off.
I felt like instead of doing a voiceover actor, what they did was just add more treble and like a reverb or something onto his voice to make it that way with the mask.
Yeah.
So that it was when you took his mask off, you're like, oh man, his voice still sounds fucking badass.
Yeah.
That's the thing. At first I thought he was just a really stupid like pussy boy, a whiner and complainer who slashes up all his, he slashes up his computer and things like that. Like if it's not going his way, and I think he is an excellent actor. I just think the character is really whiny, and that's not his fault. Like, I think he's a great actor on the subject of actors, and he brought like, he is that perfect balance between like light and dark. Like, there's one specific thing that happens at the end of the movie when he kills Han, but Jake wanted to say something first. I'm sure we'll get around to that later, so on other things that we like.
Okay. So, like, I just wanted to, like, counterpoint you when you say, like, he was a whiny guy who just, like, wanted to do that. But when you think about the dark side, it's like when he's angry, he's going to go all out angry because that's how the dark side works. So he's been struggling with the dark side and light side. So anytime he feels a little bit of anger, he's probably going to really take advantage of that. And then also the other thing about him that I really like, I feel like he was the most well-developed character in the movie. We know who he is. We kind of know his backstory a little bit. I feel like he really is the most well-developed character. And like, what was I going to say about him? I don't know.
Well,
I just feel like he's the best developed character.
And I agree with you on the fact that, like, I know he was a whiny bitch, but I feel like he's new to the Force. He's even asking Supreme Leader Snoke to like guide him on like how to handle Rey and everything. And
right.
It makes me realize like he's new. He's a true apprentice. Like a lot of times we see the second one, like in the first 4, 5, and 6, we meet Darth Vader as an apprentice, but he's already like a developed Sith Lord type thing. And then we meet him in the beginning in 1, 2, and 3, but we don't really see any of his development.
Yeah.
Like
what I was gonna say about him as well is like, you think about it, he is the generals, and whatever Han Solo was, probably he was the general, and she was his like second in command at the time, probably when he was younger. You think about it, he was probably like this spoiled kid, you know?
Yeah, that's true too.
He was like,
Oh, I'm sorry.
he
Military
was
brat.
basically the prince of the princess, you know? He was like royalty, and he was probably treated as such. And then he goes off and trains with Luke, and just, you know, he was never humbled like Luke was. He never had to go through like the hard times that Luke had to go through.
Yeah.
To really see like the evil in the world that's bad about it. You know, he never really had to go through that. Because by the time he was born, the Empire was the resistance. They were the good people.
Yeah.
Until the First Order took over and destroyed the Empire. So.
Yeah. No, and I agree. So I feel like him as a character, I feel like they put him in the perfect position to not be fully in control and powerful in the first movie, to give him a lot more, so that by the third movie, I feel like there's going to be an epic battle between him and Rey.
Oh, and an epic battle between him and the light side.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Like he's gonna pull a Vader.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna pull a Return of the Jedi in Episode 9.
Yeah, because you could, and that's the other thing I really liked about him. You could tell the internal struggle that he was having.
Exactly.
And especially
it should have been the same internal struggle that we saw Hayden Christensen have.
Especially him as an
3.
actor, like really struggling, and you could see it like in his face. I heard that like when he was on set, he was one of those actors that like when he was playing Kylo Ren, he was Kylo Ren on set, and that kind of shines through. Like you can tell that he was really like into this character. And when he was struggling through the dark side, Brad pointed this out last night.
Yeah, this is one of the cool things about the movie that I wanted to talk about is at the very end when Han is like face to face with him, and Han's like, you know, I love you and we miss you and we just want you back home, and he has the helmet off. When Han's talking to him, and they're just holding that lightsaber together, half of Ben's face is in red light, and the other half is in blue light. So like you could see
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I noticed this last night, and yeah, you could tell like again his face is making it like he's torn, but also there's light shining on him. And then when he makes the decision to kill Han, like his entire face is covered in red light
Because the sun goes down.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny though? A sign, and it's really subtle. You would think like people wouldn't even give it a second thought, but a sign that lets me know that he's torn was the fact when his father told him to take off his mask. And he takes off the mask like an obedient son. I was like, there's still good in this guy. Like, because if he was truly the dark side, it'd have been like, who the hell are you to tell me to take off my mask type thing? It'd have been like, I don't have to listen to you.
Well, he did take it off for Rey too, though.
Mm-hmm.
But he took it off for her, and she didn't ask him to take off her mask.
Yeah.
Did she?
No, she was like, it's kind of hard to...
Well, he's like, you still want to kill me? And he's like, yeah, when you're being hunted by a creature in a mask. So then he takes it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean...
Which, we'll get into theories. Okay, I have some theories about that. We've talked about what we like. Do you guys have anything else you want to, like, mention? Besides, like, theories that we'll get into at the end. That you, like, really liked?
Everything involving X-Wings and TIE Fighters was really awesome.
Yeah.
Because to me, that is Star Wars to me, especially as a kid. Like, all the designs of the ships were just
Poe's
really
X-Wing.
cool.
Poe's X-Wing is so
that
cool.
like black X-Wing. Yeah. Every moment when you see, you know, the Millennium Falcon or X-Wings and TIE Fighters, I thought that those were probably the most true to like Star Wars moments for me. Like all of those moments, like you could tell whoever was in charge of doing that was just a fan of every space battle in Star Wars. Like the sound was always perfect. Those were some of my most favorite moments. And
oh yeah, speaking of sound, what about the score? What'd you guys think of the score? I'll let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm gonna make that reference every time.
I'll get to the score in a sec. Well, no, I don't even remember what I was going to say anymore.
Sorry, dude.
Thank you. They put the soundtrack.
I just didn't want to forget about that.
They put the soundtrack on spot. The first time I saw the movie, Okay, now I remember. I was gonna say the first time I saw the movie, I was really tired. I had waited in line for like 7 hours in the cold all day, 8 hours in the cold all day, and those space battles, like when those happened, like it didn't matter how tired I was. Like I was like instantly awake. Those were so good. But as for the score, I remember the only one I remembered really was Ray's theme, which is it's just kind of different. I can't even really hum it. Yeah,
So good.
yeah,
I love
it's
it.
very it's
So good.
it's actually really different for
But
John Williams.
I think it actually sounds a lot like John Williams. If you ever see like Catch Me If You Can, which is a lot more jazzy and like is a lot more like John Williams and a lot less like Star Wars.
Because you guys have seen the movie multiple times.
I've only seen it twice.
The first, well, that's multiple times.
Well,
it's still more than
He's
once.
seen it 5
He's seen
times.
it 5
though.
times. I've only seen it once, and like I was going through a whole array of emotion. Like they're like.
I cried
When I listen to music, I have to listen to a song more than once. The very first time, the first thing I hear is the beat, and then the second time I hear it, I listen to the lyrics, and then the third time I hear it, I listen to like little nuances in the beat, and then with the lyrics. And
the lyrics.
So
of John
same
Williams
same thing with the movie. With movies, like the first time I watch it, the first thing I'm looking for is like the acting. Like in action scenes, so I'm watching it. I'm looking how like the dialogue and everything going on, and just like the lyrics of the movie. I didn't even hear the music. I'm not even gonna lie. So I have to watch it again just so I can pick up on the soundtrack.
The first time I saw it, the only one I could really remember was Ray's theme, and they just put the soundtrack up on Spotify the other day, and I was listening to that. And like none of it was as recognizable to me because there's not like a Duel of the Fates in this movie. There isn't an Imperial. Well, I mean, is the Imperial March even in this movie?
Not really.
But there's like Ray's theme and one other song are like the only two. They're called leitmotifs, which in music that is like. You know, if I do dun 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 dun, you could chop and screw that and remix that however you want, but it's always that same theme, and that's a leitmotif. It's the same pattern, but over and over. It's like a theme, and there's only like 2 themes in this movie, and those are Ray's theme, and then this really Star Wars sounding.
That one.
No, it was no. When they get to the bass,
Let me sing it.
when they get to the real bass, the actual Resistance bass, you hear it a lot there, and then you hear it a lot in other action scenes. And those are the only 2 pieces of music that I could really
that one really
recognize.
made me feel like, man,
That is
this
Star Wars. That is a Star Wars piece of music.
So like, okay, now when I first saw this movie, I was like, nothing's really catching me. You know, nothing's really getting me. I really liked Ray's thing, and I liked Kylo Ren's thing, which Kylo Ren's thing is the music that plays at the beginning when his ship comes in. Mm-hmm. I really liked that. That was super John Williams. But like the more I watch the movie, the more I'm like, this music is amazing. This is some of John Williams' best work, and it's also like really sad to hear that this will probably be his last movie that he's doing for Star Wars. But I feel like he's set some really great groundwork for the rest. So like when Rey comes on, they will always play that music
theme,
now.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren comes on, they will always play that music. They have like the new Star Wars thing, the new Star Wars theme almost.
Yeah.
And like just great groundwork. And then the background music is perfect for the background. Poe's music, that music that plays when he's flying around shooting all those ships.
Yeah.
That's Poe's music. And that it's also just spot on. So like, I don't know, first listening I was like, okay, nothing's grabbing me, but then I listened and listened again, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. It's a lot more, like you said, it's not as like grasping as like the original, like ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
It's a lot more subtle, and I almost like that.
Yeah. There is no Duel of the Fates, though.
Yeah.
As you can talk as much shit about the prequels, I think that is just as important. That song is just as important as the theme and the Imperial March.
Snoke's music is a lot like Sidious's music too, where it's like, oh.
Speaking of Sidious, I do have a theory, but we'll talk about that later. Because when you said, remember that speech, he seems very Sidious. What's his name? Yeah. But that soundtrack is on Spotify. I'll probably give it a 2, like at least a few listens to see if there's anything that really sticks with me.
So DT, anything else that you want to mention that you really like about the movie before, besides like theories and stuff that we'll get into?
Not really, man. I really don't have.
Okay. So like one more thing I want to say is just like Mark Hamill was not in it very much. He was in it at the very end. But like the acting that he did in that one scene with his face,
I know,
like holy shit!
Not a single fucking word was spoken.
Yeah,
but at the same time, you're like
everything.
This was the moment. You're like, oh my gosh! Like just his eyes.
Like he just looked at her and the lightsaber. Like I was not expecting to see you. Like oh man!
And the fact that he doesn't have that prosthetic hand anymore.
Yeah, he does.
No.
He just has the robot hand.
Like he doesn't, because in all the other movies they always cover their hand with the little
the glove.
humanoid or not just a glove.
Well, he always just had the glove.
He put the actual
there
hand
was one
on.
Yeah, he had an actual hand on before he started
the very end of Empire. You can see him like close up his wrist.
Yeah, and same with Anakin. But the fact that he's like, fuck the glove. Fuck the humanoid prosthetics. I'm just gonna have straight robot hand.
Bionic arm.
Oh, actually, I have one thing that I really disliked about the movie.
Are we going to talk about dislikes,
right.
or are we going to save that for the end?
No, let's do dislikes now. Then we'll rate it. Then we'll talk theories. Then we'll end it.
All right. Okay. The one thing that I really disliked about the movie, and I think I dislike this about all the movies, but it's a staple for some people.
Okay.
C-3PO.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was going to mention that.
Just the arbitrary, like, oh, you might not recognize me because I have this red arm.
Oh my God. We talked about that earlier.
Oh, okay. That's obviously going to either be in an anthology movie or a fucking book that I'm going to have to read. Obviously, like you're just.
Yeah, it's like I don't give a fuck.
I liked it when he like kind of popped in and he's like, oh hey,
yeah,
like hey, it's me, C-3PO. Don't recognize me for my arm, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
What does that mean?
Exactly. Like,
what the fuck is that?
No, there is that one line though when Han and Leia are talking in like the room, the control room or whatever, and Leia like walks away and C-3PO is like princesses.
No, I thought he was like princess, like he was gonna say something.
No, because he looked at Han.
Yeah, he did,
and he's like princesses.
I thought it was more like
shook his head.
To me, I took it as like him saying princess, like he was gonna say something, and then he realized who he was talking to, and he's like, "Well, fuck that, I'm not gonna say."
I saw her walk away. Like he looked at Han. I could have swore he looked at Han, and then
see, I got to see it again.
I heard him say princess, like he was gonna say something else.
Thanks for ruining the one moment that I enjoyed about C-3PO.
I liked that. I liked that better.
I didn't like the explanation of R2-D2 being powered down.
R2-D2's been through some shit. Like his master, it was fucking Darth Vader, and Luke has left, and he's been places. He's been blown up multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
I always wonder though, why is he the only fucking astromech that like gets rebuilt every single time?
Because he's like royalty at this point.
Yeah,
it's like an old car. It's like the Falcon. Like you can't get rid of C3 or
I guess
R2-D2. You know?
Well, or C-3PO in that case. Like,
they acknowledge how important he is as a droid. You know.
Yeah.
And I think Anthony Daniels is just getting old. You can hear it in C-3PO's voice.
Yeah. I don't mind his voice. It's whatever. Anything else? Anything else you want to mention about dislikes?
I don't really like Carrie Fisher in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she's not very good.
Her acting is pretty weak.
Yep.
Some of the worst edits in the movie I saw were the dialogue when they're in the base, not outside. Outside is fine when they're like, "Oh, give me a hug" or whatever. Yeah, but when they're inside talking about their son, like some of the worst edits I've seen in the movie, like just real choppy edits. Yeah. Almost like she had more dialogue, but she didn't deliver well. So they just cut it out.
I noticed anything with Harrison Ford or her, had a lot of bad edits.
Yeah, there were some interesting ones, but Harrison Ford was fine though. You got to think about like he was pretty prominent in this movie, and he did okay.
Yeah.
There is one time that it was.
This dude's in his 70s.
Yeah,
like
well,
you gotta,
there's one
you
time
gotta
when
give
it was
him a break.
really obvious when he shot Chewie's crossbow at like a door panel, and the cut is he's.
Yeah,
The frame before the cut and the frame after the cut, he's in like a completely different
I know
spot.
exactly what you're talking
And
about.
I know they had to like set up squibs and whatever, but like that was a really bad cut. That looked like a New Hope.
Yeah, I did. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. It's right after he shoots the guard and he's like, oh, wow. And then he goes to shoot the panel and then it like cuts. And then the panel explodes and you're like,
ew.
That was a bit abrasive. Yeah. Anything else you want to mention about dislikes?
Okay, the first time I saw the movie, I did not like BB-8. The first time I saw it, I thought the thing about this movie is that it feels very Abrams. And some of his shots are really cool. Like there's one shot, it was on Maz's planet. Everything's already blown up. I believe it's right after Finn fights that stormtrooper. And the resistance comes in, like everything's blown up. They're watching Rey getting taken away, and there's this one shot where it starts at Finn's face and it's angled, and then Chewie and Han walk in, and the camera turns and then zooms out and pans away, and that is a very J.J. Abrams shot to have like the camera askew and then pan to a wide. And there are things like, I'm not going to talk about directorial technique like affecting the movie, but there's a lot of like comedy choices and dialogue choices that are very Abramsy, and I could see a lot of people not liking those, including like R2-D2. He made beeps and whirs, but it was up to C-3PO to kind of translate. Like the sassy gay best friend C-3PO has to tell you what R2-D2 is saying, which some people wouldn't really like that, but BB-8 is just straight up like in your face, like whirring and making loud beeps and sounds, and he is really kind of obtrusive. I didn't like him the first time I saw the movie. I think the thumbs up joke with the lighter sucks. I think that joke isn't funny at all. But the second time seeing the movie, you realize that like BB-8 is not in that movie very long. As soon as they get to the base, like even before they get to the base, like as soon as they get to Maz's, like BB-8 is just really in the background. I remember you saying like those fucking steps as Rey goes down the steps to get the lightsaber for the first time. BB-8 slowly has to roll down all the steps, and like as soon as they get there, like he's not really that big a deal anymore.
Yeah,
because he's pose droid, you know.
Yeah, and so I didn't mind that as much. And they left him behind at the base when she goes to the Jedi Temple at the end. It's just R2 and Chewie. But I didn't. I think BB-8. I wasn't a big fan of him. I feel a little bit better about him now. There's just a lot of really good Star Wars comedy, and then there's a lot of like modern comedy that I think doesn't. It's a lot of the jokes aren't going to age very well, and I can't.
Like which ones?
I was going to say there's nothing that's really specifically sticking out for me right now. Again, I'm just gonna have to watch it again. But there are just certain flickers and moments that I just have to groan at. Also, one other thing I don't like.
Yeah, there was one joke, and I'm pointing out.
You won't point it out?
I will.
Okay, go ahead.
No. I want to hear what you got to say.
Well, because now I just forgot, so I'll try and remember.
Okay, so the one joke that I did not like, and it was right before the thumbs up, and I love BB-8. BB-8 was probably one of my favorite characters of this movie. Okay. How they could actually personify a robot so well. Like you actually felt emotions. Like when he's like, Poe's not coming back, and his head just droops
down, yeah.
And then it rolls off. You're like, damn. And BB-8's also a war hero. Like when you see him get inside the thing and he's like, let's fucking do this. Like I got that feeling from a robot. Like, let's fucking get out there. Let's do this shit. Like,
hell yeah.
I got that feeling like he was actually a fucking character. Like I loved that shit.
What was the bad joke?
The bad joke is when he looks at the robot and says, droid, please.
Move ball.
I hated that.
I liked move ball. That
I
one
liked
was
move
good.
ball, but he looks
I don't even remember these. Oh my gosh.
I remember droid, please.
when the droid's like, he's like, you gotta tell her where it is, and he kind of looks at him, and then he's like, droid, please. He says, droid, please, and I'm like,
oh, see, okay, I remember that now.
yeah, he's looking back and forth, and yeah.
But I didn't take it as the joke as like, droid, please, like, bitch, please. I took it as like, droid, please, like, help me out, like, droid, please, help, like, tell her.
I took it as droid, please, and I feel like it was supposed to be like droid, please.
See, I'm gonna have to watch it again because I don't feel like the inflection in his voice gave that.
See, like the
bitch,
first time,
please.
I'm like, all right, well,
I felt like it was more. It wasn't like a up inflection. It was more like a plea inflection. Like, please, like, droid, please. Like,
I don't know. I after my fifth viewing, I still take it as
Okay.
droid, please. Like just the way he says it.
I'm gonna see it again, and I'm gonna have to call you on that.
Yeah,
and
just the way he says
we'll
it.
have a private discussion about that.
More things I don't like about the movie. I couldn't remember what I was gonna say originally. If I could like rewind the tape and remember what I was talking about before that. I don't like the entire scene with the space monsters on the ship, and they get the two gangs on the opposite sides.
Yes,
Well, I thought that was cool when they're like, "Hey, tell it to these other guys," and then they show up, and you're like, Han Solo."
If you've ever
Han Solo, but then like they release the monsters, and you're like,
if you've ever seen The Raid, there's a movie called The Raid. And that joke is very like specific to people who have seen this, which is like 2% of people. The other people are from that movie. They're like extreme like athletes and like ninjas basically.
Okay.
But then they don't do anything in the movie. They don't do anything except for get eaten.
And see, that's what I didn't like about the scene where Finn gets taken by one of these monsters. And if you notice, everyone else who got taken immediately got eaten. Yep. But why is Finn being dragged through the halls?
I saw that
and then gets a chance to be rescued. Like, F that. He got taken. He should be immediately eaten.
Not only that, the first time I saw the movie, I saw it in 3D, IMAX 3D, and the CGI on that is horrible.
Yeah,
absolutely horrible. When you see him like go through the monitors and the monsters carrying him, the CG looks terrible, and that's probably one of the worst looking moments in the movie. Good thing it's not on very long.
Yeah, it's a very like brief moment, and I feel like that's only in the movie to be like, okay, they can't leave in this freighter; they have to leave in the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the only reason it's in the movie.
Is you have to give it a reason.
And also, it's like we built this giant set, so we have to use it. You know, that's the way I took that.
And that's also the part with the really bad edit when Han shoots the panel to open the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. But I don't know. I like this scene when they're on the Millennium Falcon when he first gets there and they're like talking for a second. He's like, "Who's the pilot?" And she's like, "I'm the pilot." But then they go in there and he's like, "Why does he keep BB-8 out?" Like why didn't BB-8?
Yeah, why didn't BB-8 go in the vents with them?
Like BB-8's way more recognizable than Rey.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we're looking for that droid and two fugitives. If they just put the fucking droid in the vents, they wouldn't have known.
It was a plot point.
Yeah.
That's the only reason it was there, and I disliked that. There weren't a whole lot of things. I hate the way Snoke looks.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
I don't like it.
Like, why out of everything that's practical effects, I like the way Moss looks, honestly.
Yeah.
I do too.
I thought she was fine, but I also don't think she's a prominent character in the rest of the movies.
No. I was not.
Snoke is obviously going to be a prominent character in the next two movies.
My thing is, why do they make this dude look like he has freaking throat cancer? And
he's a Sith Lord.
He has half of his freaking jaw gone from surgery for doing too much chew.
Well, we'll get to theories.
He's a Sith
I've got
Lord.
some theories.
Oh, you got theories on why he looks like he's been
But
shooting for like
out of
55 million
everything
a
that's
year.
like all the practical effects, why is he CG? And like not
Why
just
is
CG,
this
like
really important main villain really bad looking?
yeah, like not just CG, like bad looking CG, like fucking like Ninja Turtles CG.
Well, I feel like that bad CG though is just mainly because it's a hologram. I feel like when he really comes out, he's gonna look a little bit better.
Yeah, and that's what I hope. Like I really hope they like fix it. You know,
I do too.
and the hologram is like why he looks so shitty.
Because the hologram looks like he's freaking 20 feet tall.
Well, that's the thing.
Well, I don't
He's
think-
either going to be bigger or smaller than that hologram.
Oh, I think he's gonna be smaller.
I definitely think he's gonna be smaller, but he's still gonna be
He's still
taller
gonna
than
be
everybody
tall.
else.
Yeah, he's gonna be like at least as tall as Chewie.
Yeah,
But I don't think he's gonna be like.
because that hologram
big.
looked like he took up the whole fucking room in that hologram.
I got nervous the first time I saw it. I was like, oh shit, this guy's huge. How is he supposed to be a Sith Lord? And then he turned out to be a hologram, and I'm like, okay.
yeah.
I mean,
Cool,
we
that-
still don't know if he's a Sith Lord, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of that one other thing I didn't like. So
I mean, honestly, it's a movie full of like really good things and a few bad things.
Yeah.
Like, just like every other Star Wars, and that's why I love this movie so much. Like, so okay, rating out of 10, what would you give it?
Out of 10, I might have to give it. I'm somewhere in between a 7.5 and an 8.5. That's where I'm at on ratings.
okay,
How about you?
I'm somewhere between an 8.5 and a 9. I think, the first time I saw this, I think I would give it like an 8.8, but I think I'm going to stick with 8.5.
See, and that's where I'm more leaning towards. But I'm like, because I've only seen it once, I don't want to give it a 8.5 straight on just my first viewing of it. I want to go back a couple of times. Maybe when I hear the score this time, like it might solidify as 8.5 for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I'd give it, and I feel bad giving it this because I'm so biased. Like, I am just so biased because I just love everything Star Wars. Like, I'd even give the prequels like 8s just because I love Star Wars so much.
Yeah.
I'd give Attack of the Clones a 4.
Give Attack of the Clones a 2.
You would give it a 2?
I'd give The Force Awakens a 1. Just kidding. I give it, and because I'm so biased and it felt like Star Wars to me, I give it a 9.5.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I just fucking love it. I've seen it 5 times. Like,
See,
I love this movie.
I want to see it too.
As far as like an actual film goes, I think Mad Max was a better movie.
Yeah, that's my favorite movie of the year.
I think it was a better movie, and if it wasn't a Star Wars movie, it probably would be like 8.5.
I give
Yeah.
Mad
8.
Max a 9.
But since it's Star Wars, and I love that world so much, that automatically lifts it up to a 9.5.
Quick question. Not rating related, but because we're all Star Wars fans here. Am I the only one who cried when Han died?
No, I didn't cry.
I didn't cry.
I saw it coming a mile.
Yeah.
No, I knew.
We all saw it coming. We all
I knew it was
talked
going to
about
happen, but like I didn't bawl my eyes out, but I did shed a tear.
I cried twice in that movie, and it wasn't at that point.
Yeah.
When did you cry?
I cried when the scroll started.
Yes, that's when I cried.
I did cry on that.
Tears.
Mhm.
And I cried at the end credits when I was like, it's good.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I shed one tear for Han. Like I knew it was, and I don't think I cried because he died. I think I shed that tear because it was done right.
Well, and I
I think
made
it was a respectable death.
It is really good.
it's good, and that scene between them is great.
Yeah.
Uh,
The tension
Yeah.
in that scene is incredible.
they just made it even like people who don't know Star Wars could predict that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
from that point when
But the
when,
same- they
when
did
he
this-
walks out on that ledge,
They
and,
did the same thing.
and Han's
when,
like, "Let me wait till he's out in the middle of that fucking bridge," and then he's like, "Ben, wait! Now that you're on the middle of that bridge, let me come out."
But really think about the whole Star Wars saga, and tell me they didn't do that before.
Well, they didn't, because they actually had a lightsaber battle that led them to that bridge.
True, but at the same time, fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi turns his saber off, and you don't think he's going to die?
Well, he's gonna die, and
exactly.
that's fine.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like it's predictable. Like the whole death is predictable.
That's fair. I'm not complaining about it.
But I'm saying like the way he died.
It's just hard to be sad about. I didn't cry when Obi-Wan Kenobi died either.
Yeah,
I wasn't like.
I was too young to really be.
I wasn't like, oh, this is
like that. But
this is sad. Like you knew it was coming.
Spoilers: Han dies.
Yeah, in case you didn't.
If you didn't know that, Han dies.
So, you guys want to talk some theories?
Yeah, let's talk some theories. Yeah. I want to hear your guys' theories first before I say anything about my theories. Wait, hold up.
I want you to talk first, so then we can expand on your brain.
Okay, but did you guys hear the when Rey touches the lightsaber? Did you guys hear the Obi-Wan and Yoda's?
I don't think he thought that was Obi-Wan. I think that's Luke.
And he's like,
it's Obi.
It's totally Obi-Wan, and he's like, Rey. Like it sounded like him, like that Obi-Wan voice, Rey. You know,
and that's the original Obi.
Yeah, like,
and what they did,
I could have swore he died.
He did.
Okay.
And you know how they got that?
Yeah.
They cut in one of the movies. He says "afraid," and they cut "afraid."
Oh
and the way he says "afraid," it sounds like Rey.
Wow.
And then the rest of it, what he says is actually Ewan McGregor.
Oh, okay.
So that's cool. Both of them, both Obi-Wans together.
That's cool.
Right.
I'm into that shit.
Make that. And I just read that today, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even catch that in the movie.
I'm into that.
I didn't catch that the first time, and he pointed that out to me last night.
Now that's something.
I didn't hear the Yodas though.
I didn't hear Yoda's either.
In there.
Yeah, I heard the other talking, but that Rey really stood out.
Yeah,
Rey.
so I was like, oh man, I got it.
So like everyone in the Force is like calling to her, like, come on, you need to do this.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that scene. Am I the only one who didn't see that scene with Ren, Kylo Ren, and Supreme Leader Snoke behind him holding the staff? I don't believe that made it into the movie.
No.
So was that a sneak? The one from the trailer, where it's like 6 dudes. Kylo has his lightsaber out, and then you see Snoke in the back with the staff.
I didn't see that. I didn't notice that in the trailer. I remember you saying that.
So we're gonna have to look at the trailer.
Yeah,
we'll have to look that shit up.
Sure,
we'll see that scene, but it's not in the movie. So I'm thinking, did J.J. Abrams sneak in a scene from the next movie, or did they just leave that one?
How could he though? Because I don't think they've started shooting yet.
No?
Maybe it's a deleted scene.
Maybe it is.
Maybe we just need to get on Blu-ray.
Yeah, because maybe there is more of the Knights of Ren that we haven't seen.
And then Snoke did say something about the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
So that was pretty
He's
cool.
like, you're the leader of the Knights of Ren, yeah.
Sidetracking from theories, another thing I didn't like is Phasma did fucking nothing.
Oh, yes.
Fuck Phasma.
Yes. And then what the fuck happened to her? Oh, is there a trash compactor? Did she die in the trash compactor?
Oh,
like, what the fuck?
That was the other... Now I remember what I was going to say about the one thing I didn't like about this movie is that they call back to Star Wars so much. Every time there is a callback to like A New Hope, I looked at Jake and I went, remember Star Wars? And I ended up saying remember Star Wars like 4 or 5 times. Like, remember Star Wars? Remember the trash compactor? Remember the run on the Death Star with Han and Leia? You remember Star Wars,
That's
Jake?
one thing I didn't like about this
I did not like that.
Why is there always such an easy way to destroy the fucking deadliest weapon?
Okay, I'm not that angry about it because, like, if you think about it, they sucked an entire sun in there. And then he blew up all these parts, and then the sun exploded.
It's not like the Death Star where they just shoot a torpedo into a thermal exhaust
made it a little.
port.
They made it a little more like. But I mean, like, okay.
And then at the end it turns into a sun.
But
the
thing is, the thing to me was how convenient is it? Because it kind of went like 2. It went the Death Star and blowing up that main ship in episode 1 when Anakin flies in there and shoots the reactor himself and then flies out. Mm-hmm. That's what it kind of felt like to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, like how convenient. Oh, hey guys, look, there's a big ass hole right there. And then fucking Poe goes into the hole, shoots it up.
This one's harder because they had to make the hole themselves.
Yeah, they had to
blow up.
But that wasn't even like the plan? That wasn't even the fucking plan. The plan was to destroy the shield, and then the Chargers were placed in a place where...
But he brought the explosive probably half knowing that would happen.
Yeah.
No, they brought the Chargers to blow up the shield reactor.
To blow up the whole thing in the first place.
And they weren't supposed to... The Chargers weren't there to make a hole for them to come in.
Yeah, they
So
were
it was like
supposed to
it was just real convenient. Like, oh,
Yeah.
we're supposed to blow up the
Everything
shield.
plot holes.
I'm like,
Everything in Star Wars is like convenience.
Plot
though.
holes.
well, in
Han
Obi-Wan's
Solo's-
experience, there's no such thing as luck.
yeah.
Han Solo's whole experience as like a person is like all coincidence and like luck. As like, there's no reason he should be alive until he's 70 years old. But because he's Han Solo, and for some reason the Force is like around him and like somehow protects him.
Yeah.
And like the thing that I really liked about the movie, like it did have parallels, but like it had like the whole movie's a parallel, but it's like, let me just throw my own characters in.
Yeah.
So like the new Obi-Wan was Han Solo, and but like he wasn't like Obi-Wan at all, but it was like a very Obi-Wan type, like,
Yeah.
let me teach you, you know? So I don't know. Anyway, theories.
Yeah.
Who do you think Rey is? I'm going to ask you first. DT.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking Luke's daughter more and more, but then at the same time, like, why? I don't know. It's crazy. Let me hear yours about her, Ray.
Okay.
A friend of ours said the hints are very obvious.
Yeah, but I don't know what his theory is. My theory, though, is Rey is Luke's daughter.
Okay.
Most definitely. If she wasn't, that's cool too. But my theory is she is Luke's daughter. Luke was training Kylo Ren, right? And after he was done training Kylo Ren, like, he turned on him. He had his daughter. Him and his daughter went to that island. He started training his daughter. His daughter got really fucking strong, really fucking young, because she was probably the youngest one to actually start training. Because you think about like Anakin, and they say, you know, he was pretty old when he started.
Yeah. They didn't want to train him because he was too old.
Yeah, and then you think about Luke, he was like 17. He was even older. So imagine if they started training when they were like 5 years old.
Okay.
Or like from birth. And he started to see like how strong she was. Maybe it freaked him out, and he's like, I want to put her on Jakku, sort of like Tatooine. I know she'll be okay, and I want her to really find her own destiny, because that's how it happened for me.
Yeah.
You know,
Because if you try,
is this your theory?
yeah,
well, yeah. If
Okay.
you see what happens if you force destiny on Ben Solo.
yeah. If you force it on someone, you want them to come to that decision themselves.
Okay.
Like, for her to go to the light side by herself.
I didn't think about that way, because a solid theory is that she is his daughter, but I want her to be a nobody. Me personally, I want her to just be some random girl they met on Jakku.
I have a friend who feels that way too, because he's tired of the now Jedis being all part of the Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
But you think about Star Wars, the episodic Star Wars, and like, it's always been the story of a Skywalker.
Yeah.
It's always been the story of a Skywalker. Why would that change now?
No, and I agree.
Some people would argue like it's shrinking the universe. I disagree.
I kind of like your theory. Well, watching the movie, I felt that she was placed on Jakku not to forge her own destiny, but to save her life and protect the lineage of the Skywalker.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I felt that Skywalker knew that she would be okay, and then like she will eventually come to the light and like be the savior. But he did that because everyone was looking for him.
But the reason,
and Kylo Ren, they're going to destroy Luke to destroy the Jedi.
yeah,
So he has to get rid of the last Jedi besides him.
Yeah.
And knows that she'll be all
but
right.
the reason I say I think she was training with him is because there's this scene with
I don't doubt that she was training with him though.
Okay.
I don't doubt, but
there's
I
this
feel
scene.
like
There's this scene with Kylo Ren though, where he's looking into her mind.
and then she looks into his.
No. Before that, before she like shoots back at him, it's when he's just like, you really want to sleep. You're desperate to sleep at night.
Yeah.
You imagine a beach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Remember that island?
I see it. I see the island. What does that mean?
No, he also says one more thing. It was like, don't be afraid. I feel it too.
Yeah, but that's a different theory that I'll bring up in a second.
Okay. No, and I agree with that. There's no doubt that she was training with them. And when he went into seclusion before, she was training. And then he found out that Kylo Ren was actually, I felt like Kylo Ren maybe was like Luke, like gave over the reins because he was training. Remember, he was starting up the Jedi Academy again. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he was giving over the reins. And I feel like later on, maybe we might hear about it. Like some of the Knights of Ren might be actually some more people that turn to the dark side.
Oh, maybe. I think they all are.
So
I think they all went to the dark side.
Because Kylo Ren supposedly destroyed all the rest of the Jedi.
Right.
Except for Luke. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he was training his daughter in seclusion and was like, oh shit, Kylo turned. I don't think he turned with Luke there. I feel like he turned when Luke was away, destroyed the Jedi Order that he was rebuilding because he was supposed to help rebuild the Jedi Order. And then Luke hears news of this and is like, oh shit, if he finds me, he's going to kill my daughter as well. Mm-hmm. So let me get rid of my daughter and I can try to hold him off. And if I fail, I still have my daughter as a backup plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like, so it's kind of like a marry of our two theories together.
That's a good explanation for the...
Yeah. But like the thing is like I don't think it was like he was training her in seclusion. I just think she's a lot younger than Kylo Ren. And by a lot younger, I mean like 6-7 years.
But if that's the thing, like, why wouldn't Kylo Ren know that that's his cousin? And why wouldn't he?
You wouldn't recognize her.
But why wouldn't he? But
maybe he does, because there is a scene, and this is the scene. Maybe he does recognize it, and maybe he does recognize she has the Force, because he's like, "Don't be afraid. I feel it too."
It's the same scene when he's interrogating her.
Yeah, it is the same scene, but it's right. It's right after he looks into her brain and is about to like look at the map in her brain. He says, "Don't be afraid. I feel it too."
What, the family connection is that? You think that's what they feel?
I don't know what it means. But I'm like, either he's like, I feel the Force in you, and he's trying to sweet talk her because he can feel the Force in her, and is like wants to bring her over.
Yeah.
Or he's like,
he tries that later in the movie too.
Yeah. Or he's like, I feel it too. I feel like I feel the relation too. You know, because it was kind of like when Luke Skywalker and Leia, like they kind of had that weird like Force connection.
Yeah.
Almost. Where they could sense each other like from different planets, or he was on the ship.
I can feel your energy from 2 planets away. I got my drink.
I was sharing, but today I'm saying, bitch, don't kill my vibe.
Bitch, don't kill my vibe. Bitch, don't kill my vibe.
That's Kendrick.
That's the real theory right there.
Okay.
That
bitch don't kill my vibe.
Yeah, don't kill my vibe.
Kind of an older album now.
Yeah.
I don't know though. And You bringing up that whole thing where you try to sweet talk her, that was another scene I did not like. I like the lightsaber battle, but I didn't like that long ass pause.
Yeah,
when
they
they're
clashed for a long time.
Like they were stuck there, and like.
Well, I feel like it was almost like a slow-mo kind of thing, where it was like, this is how she's imagining it in her mind. I think it was more like a filmmaker's choice.
But the thing was, like, there was nothing really in that scene that like. Because you can still hear like the crackling behind it. If the crackling behind them had slowed down, then I would have felt more of a slow motion, and it wouldn't have been.
Yeah, and the lights that were flashing on them were really fast.
It was
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it's a filmmaker's choice where they didn't actually slow down time, but it's like this is how she's picturing it in her head. Everything's still moving the same, but she's picturing it like it's 1,000 years. You know, where she's just like the Force is taking over. You know, like I feel like it was a real like.
See, I feel like they made a poor choice in that one because, like, I've seen movies where that stuff happens, but like they slow it down to where the person is still moving in real time, but everything else is slowing down around them, and I feel like that's a better move. Just because, like,
I had no problem with it.
I had a huge problem with it because in my mind I'm like, fucking strike her down right now. Like she's she's dumb right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't take it that way at all. I thought it was more like. It didn't actually take that long, but like in her head, it was taking that long, and like it's just like it's really building. Like, okay, she's feeling the Force. Fuck yeah, she's feeling the Force.
I didn't like it.
And
let's go back to theories. I want to get your theories.
Okay,
because that's the only theory I had about Rey.
Yeah. So she definitely had training at some point
I don't doubt that
because she was so like, you will. Blah,
yeah,
blah,
that's
blah.
what I was like, there's no way she didn't have training. How would she know that she can even influence people like that?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
That scene gave me chills too.
I felt like that training was so long ago that it was latent in her mind, but she always knew that someone was coming back for her on Jakku.
Mm-hmm.
So
Luke.
Exactly.
She even said Luke.
Did she?
Yeah. She's like, no one's coming back for you, but someone might. And then she's like, Luke.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember. I only seen the movie once.
I've seen it 5 times. So
I'm like, I've only seen it once, and
that stormtrooper that she like convinces, that's Daniel Craig. That's 007. That's James Bond in that stormtrooper suit.
Wow.
And she's like, you will release my restraints and drop your gun. Like, it's Daniel Craig.
I like it. It was like, oh, and I'll drop my gun.
Dude, that part gave me chills though. Like when she, like at first she was kind of like shaky, and then she just like looked at him, and like her face just went so straight, and she's like, "You will remove these restraints," and I'm like,
yeah, because it was funny because she
fuck.
was shaky, and then like,
Yeah.
and you're like thinking like, oh shit, she's doing it, and he comes over, he's like, I will tighten these restraints.
Yeah.
Rebel scum or resistant scum or whatever he called her.
Scavenger.
Yeah.
Scavenger scum. That's what he said. Scavenger scum. And he's like, grr. I was like, oh shit, that's pretty funny because she didn't do it. But then she goes, wait, stone cold face, you will release these restraints. I will release these restraints.
Yeah, and you're like, holy fuck.
Shit. And then he walks off, and you'll drop your weapon because she was like, oh, second thought, I need a weapon.
Another theory I have is at the end of the movie, do you think Rey stuck around for a while and maybe trained with Leia for a second? Just in the ways of like how to really concentrate your force? Because I imagine Leia knows a little bit.
I don't know.
Because the reason I ask this, and I had a different theory that was debunked last night when I saw it again. Yeah. But
tell me your theory before that was debunked.
Well, I saw this ring on Leia's hand when she hugged her, and then I thought I saw it on Rey's hand when she was leaving, but it wasn't on her hand. So whatever.
But there was one other thing.
But there were a couple other things that made me think that maybe she stuck around for a while. One thing was when they leave, you see C-3PO has his new arm. And it's like, did they just do that like real quickly? She must have been there for a minute. Also, I don't remember her having the staff at all through the movie, except for when she was on Jakku. So when did she get that staff back? She must have gone back to Jakku to get the staff at some point.
Man, I gotta look because I thought she had it the whole time.
I don't think she did.
I don't think she did.
I thought she had it when they went onto the Millennium Falcon, and I feel like she just left it on the Falcon the whole time.
I don't think she did.
So now and remember, I've only seen the movie once.
Because I remember them like they got flung in the air, and I think it went in a different direction, and she just fucking ran to the Falcon.
Yeah, when they're like, we're going to take that ship. We don't want the garbage ship.
Yeah.
And then the ship blows up, and they're like, we'll take the garbage ship. And
Yeah,
it's the Falcon.
I don't remember her having the staff at that point. I'll have to watch it again and really
I'll
look
have to see
for
it
it.
again too.
But yeah, I don't remember her having the
But
staff.
I don't think there's any. I mean, I wouldn't see any problem with them staying there a little bit longer. Like, why would you search for Luke so quickly? You know what I mean? You still have.
I mean, it's definitely not crazy to think that she was there for like a day or two, just resting.
I would think that they would have to stay there for a while, just because they will have to get that target off of the Falcon. Because how else were they able to track them? You remember when Harrison Ford?
Well, I don't think the First Order is really worried about that at that point.
Well, yeah,
their whole base got destroyed.
Oh no, I understand that, but you still want to get that track off because remember, Han alluded to that. Yeah, how do you think I found you? There's a tracker on the ship. We need a clean ship.
Right.
So,
but what I'm saying is like I don't think the First Order is looking for them, nor do they really care to find them, because I think the First Order has gone into hiding now too. Their whole fucking planet got destroyed.
But it's not the First Order I'm talking about. I'm talking about Kylo Ren. Even though he's part of the First Order, he's also part of the Knights of Ren, and he is looking for Luke. So if he's looking for Luke and he knows that Rey has the Millennium Falcon, then why wouldn't he look for the Millennium Falcon? So I feel like they will have to.
Because the Resistance probably has more backup now than the First Order does.
True, but you still want to.
They're on like equal levels right now.
One of the things I don't like about the movie is that the Star Killer is lame. The planet that the new Death Star, I think the Star Killer is pretty fucking lame. It's just big. And they blow up 5 planets, which is cool, but I don't care about any of those other planets. Like when the Death Star blows up Alderaan, you're like, that's Leia's planet. Like that meant something.
Well, they fucking blew up Coruscant.
That's what I thought it was too. I thought that planet was Coruscant.
It's not Coruscant?
I don't know. Some people have said that wasn't.
You say that you don't care about the planets? Is that what you just said?
Unless one of those planets is Coruscant.
Well, those planets are the Republic.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but
so I mean that makes you care a little bit.
The reason why I feel like it's Coruscant, because one, in all the movies we've ever seen, there was only one planet that from the sky looked like a fucking city over the whole planet, and that's Coruscant.
Yep.
And you saw that in this movie.
I thought there was that
and
too.
Then they said
it's a huge galaxy. It could be anything.
It could be anything, but at the same time, they said we're going to strike them and let them know this is the day that the Empire is destroyed or something like that.
But am I the only one that wants to know the story behind that old guy with the fucking like weird beard and he was like this weird alien-looking creature? I just wanted to know more about that guy.
In the very beginning?
No, on the city planet.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It shows them.
He kind of looks like the dragon from the Never-Ending Story.
You see those people for like 3 seconds and then they all blow up.
Yeah, but I'm like, man, I want to know about that guy.
What was the dragon from the Never-Ending Story? The Luck Dragon, but what was his name?
I don't know.
Atreyu's not the dragon. Atreyu's the dog.
That's what his face looked like to me. It's like, oh,
what's the Luck Dragon's name?
Doesn't matter.
But
what do you think? Like, what if Finn's force sensitive?
That wouldn't be all bad. I wouldn't.
You think it's possible?
I don't know.
I'll explain why I think it's possible. I don't think it's true, but I'll explain why I think it's possible.
Why?
My theory, and it's just a theory, and I don't think it's true at all. I think he's just a dude. If anyone's going to be force sensitive, I think it's going to be Poe. But just because who can fly a ship like that?
And those comics actually kind of like set up like his parents
really set up Poe Dameron.
Yeah, they do. It explains everything about his personality. Like he is both of his parents.
And maybe it is because he's like the new Han Solo, and he's just an important character. But
those comics, like his parents are force sensitive, I believe.
They never say that.
They never say it, but they're like, we know this is real, and we can feel it. They say that
they're really good pilots. But anyway, Finn, when they're babies, they like condition their mind, and then like, how is he able to just like
do his own thing,
like go against that, unless he is some sort of force sensitive kind of guy? Because she's also like, we need to send him down to reconditioning, which means it's not like they just raise him like that. They do some like mind wash, some sort of mind wash on them. So like, how is he able to, like, just one fluke and it happens to be this guy? Like, what are the chances of that?
Well,
I mean, Star Wars is full of coincidences, but
I don't think it was one fluke, because the way they were tracking it was like, this is his first occurrence, which means I feel like other stormtroopers had that happen.
That's a fair point.
Because it was like, they're like, oh, no, this is his first occurrence.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. I didn't think too much into it. My friend had a theory that he was force sensitive because he was like, only Jedis can wield lightsabers. And I was like, no, that's debunked, because we saw General Grievous wield a lightsaber.
Well, and we also saw Han wield a lightsaber when he opens up that.
Oh, yeah, when he opens up the Tauntaun.
Yeah.
Yep. So there you go. So I was like,
one more theory I have, and I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of theories now. You know, like it's going to be a never-ending cycle of theories until Episode 8 comes out, if they're as secretive. Which I don't think they'll be as secretive, but I think it'll be damn secretive. One more theory I have: what if Hux is somehow related to Palpatine?
I was actually going to talk about that next.
He talks like Palpatine.
Just like him. That Nazi speech he gives on the Star Killer.
He sounds like Palpatine.
Sounds just like him.
So given that, because remember I said that he, in our first one we were talking about, I was like that he might be Luke's son or Han's son or something, but I was alluding to him being an important character, and you said, "No, I just think he's some bullshit character." Now you're coming to see that he might actually have some clout.
I still kind of believe he is just some bullshit character like
Maybe.
Tarkin, but for
at the
some
same time-
reason I get this feeling that Snoke keeps him on board for a reason.
He
know
he
what?
actually talks to Snoke
And
too.
and that's something I was gonna bring up. Like, I don't remember in any of the original Star Wars any of the generals ever talking to Sidious.
No one talks to Palpatine.
Everyone
Except
went
for Vader.
Everyone went to Vader first, and Vader went to Palpatine.
Yeah.
And this one, you have Kylo Ren, and Hux both talking to Snoke at
There's
the
a
exact
reason
same
he keeps
time.
him close, and I don't think he's ever going to train him because he's probably scared of him because I
Because
think Snoke is Plagueis still.
Exactly.
I still think
and
he's
I don't.
Plagueis.
And I don't. Now,
I think that's why his face is fucked up too.
here's something. I think Finn could be force sensitive, but doesn't know it. And
Right.
I feel like a lot of the Jedis we've met had something happen to them to where the Force like revealed itself to them and then they started like really saying like, what's this? I feel like Finn doesn't know how to work a blaster. He gets it.
Oh, he works a blast.
And
that boy knows how to shoot a gun.
not in the ship at first until he gets the crash course. But then like he gets really good at it really quick, like hitting dudes like nothing, and then like on a crash course on a TIE fighter that he's never been on. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like with the proper training, he could become a Jedi. I feel like, because if you really think about the Force, everyone has the Force. Everyone. But you have to be in tune with the Force.
Yeah.
And I feel like some people are more sensitive to the Force, so they're able to in tune with it more. And I feel like Finn doesn't know that he's sensitive.
Like, aren't there like different ranks of like Jedi? And it's like Jedi, and then like the Jedi Knight, and then like
Jedi Master.
the Jedi Master. So
Yeah.
like maybe he could just be like a Jedi. Like he'll never be like a knight, but he'll just be like a dude who's very attuned with the Force.
Yeah, and I don't see why that cannot happen.
Yeah.
So
Luke
I feel
is a master and Rey is a Jedi Knight. You know. But I still feel like if anyone's gonna be Force sensitive, it's Poe. Like that dude is just like insane. Like, but it's a fair point. Like Finn is able to fucking shoot really well, and he's been locked inside doing sanitation his whole life.
Yeah, like when he went on Jakku, that was his first time ever leaving on a mission.
Mm-hmm.
That was his first mission.
Yeah. So like, yeah, that's a good point. I still think Snoke is Plagueis.
I totally agree.
I think so too.
Um,
Because if he's not, then like he's not a big deal anymore. Then
yeah, he's kind of like a non-character, and it's like, where was
Yeah.
this guy all those years ago?
Exactly, because obviously this guy wasn't the one who killed Vader.
Yeah, and
So-
obviously this guy's attuned, like he is a Sith Lord. He has to be because he's going to train Kylo Ren.
Exactly,
So,
and
He has to.
in
be.
episode 6, the Sith were supposedly killed off when Vader kills Palpatine.
Yeah.
So I feel like he had to be in hiding because he had to let Palpatine think that the Roller Two was still in tune,
Mhm.
and that have you guys read the story about the Roller Two? And I don't know if it's canon, but it makes a lot of sense.
No, what is it?
I forgot what his name was, but he's the one who actually trains like 3 people before Plagueis. And what happens is there used to be the Sith Order, which was as big as the Jedi Order. But because the Sith always lust for power, they always fought each other within everybody. And it was always like the strongest Sith were supposed to be the ones to survive. But then you got people like waiting in the wings for battles to commence and like killing people on sneaks. So then you got weak people like killing out stronger people because they're engaged with other stronger people. And then this fucking badass dude just comes in. He's like the most powerful of all the Sith. He kills like everybody, and then invoke the ruler too. And it's like it will only be one, and a master and apprentice. And then when the apprentice gets strong enough, they will kill the master, and that way the Sith will always survive, and it'll always be the strongest Sith. So they can only get stronger.
Yeah, and that's why Palpatine always wanted to kill Darth Vader, and that's why he wanted Luke, so he could replace Darth Vader.
Yeah,
because he didn't want to die.
Exactly.
He didn't want to die.
And then if
he was scared of Vader.
If Luke can kills Vader, then Palpatine will still be stronger than Luke and teach him until he can find another princess.
Yeah,
stronger than Luke.
I have another theory, and
Okay.
I don't think that book is canon anymore.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's
so
not.
either, but
It's definitely not. But I mean, they could go back to it.
It could. To me, that sounds like Old Republic, and as far as I know, Old Republic is still canon.
Yeah.
okay.
Well, some of it, and it's I don't know. They'll probably rewrite it all. But one more theory that I have, and I just keep on thinking about them. Do you think Darth Vader Force Ghost to Kylo Ren? Because he's like, show me again.
See, oh man, that's
He's like, show me again.
Yeah, show me again, grandfather.
Yeah.
how to
Which would make sense why Hayden Christensen would be in the next one if he's going to Force Ghost in to talk to Kylo Ren.
that's crazy. Actually, that might.
I wouldn't hate that.
I wouldn't either. That seems pretty legit. Actually,
I don't know why is the thing. Like when we see Darth Vader die in Episode 6, and he Force Ghosts at the very end with Yoda and Obi-Wan, like he's a good guy.
Is he though?
Don't try and pull that. Like he kills the Emperor. Like he apologizes to Luke. He's like, I'm gonna die, but it's cool. Like there's this sense of contentment that like you're the one who brought balance to the Force. I don't think he would just. I can understand maybe if like Luke was training Kylo Ren and then he called upon his father, but I don't think that Anakin would teach him in the ways of evil.
But
after all that.
So like here's my thing though, okay? Just like I thought Han and Leia were like not going to be a thing in this movie, and they weren't, because why out of no reason would Han ever settle down with anyone? Out of no reason would Darth Vader ever just switch to the light side so easily.
He switched to the dark side so easily.
Right, because he had like good reason to. I feel like for this, it was like maybe it was him like taking Palpatine, killing Palpatine. He's like, you see what I did? And I'm on the dark side. And then like he's with Obi-Wan at the end, but like how can he Force Ghost? He was never that strong on the light side to Force Ghost. Only on the dark side he learned how to Force Ghost. You know?
okay, no, I can see that. You know what? I actually going upon that, I'm thinking maybe that was the original plan, that he destroys Palpatine because that's the destiny of the Sith, to destroy their master and get stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And he was still trying to get Luke to come to the dark side.
Yeah.
So maybe Luke took that as like, oh, he's good. There's still good left in this man. And he's like, I'm doing this because, I want to be the strongest Sith. Yeah. So maybe he could. But you said something about Luke and Leia, Leia and Solo not being anything in this movie, but they were.
No, they weren't.
They were.
I feel like they were like an awkward divorced couple.
Well, it was, they were something. It's just that he couldn't. He felt her as a husband and a father, so he couldn't even face. He says it. He's like, I left. That's why I left, because you couldn't look at me and without seeing him.
I don't think like at this point.
I don't think the chemistry was like really there to portray that, but I feel like that's the storyline.
At this point, like they had broken up, like obviously for whatever reasons aside. Be it their son or whatever, just like every other parent gets divorced because of their kids.
Of course, that's the only reason why a parent gets divorced.
Yeah.
For kids. Kids fuck up marriage.
Yeah, exactly.
Hashtag.
That's what I'm saying. He comes back. They feel a little fire. I mean, there's going to be sexual tension. They used to fuck all the time, obviously.
Avi. They have a fucking kid.
Doesn't mean like they're a thing. I didn't see them as a thing. They hugged once and it was awkward as fuck. They weren't together.
Yeah,
Maybe if he came back, they would have gotten back together.
Probably.
But they weren't together.
I feel like they were.
And this is how George Lucas wants us to talk.
Fuck George Lucas.
Very soap opera-y.
I don't like soap opera, but I think they were together. I don't know. But no, I could see.
See, like
I could see Vader vote.
When you find out Ben Kenobi, Ben Solo is Han Solo's kid, I was hoping it was Luke's kid too. Like they had a kid together.
Han and Luke.
Han and Luke had a kid together.
Oh man,
that's the ultimate theory.
Luke's his uncle.
Well, Luke can. Well, who knows? Luke might be able to create life with a midichlorian, just like Darth Plagueis.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be the theory that Anakin
fuck off
is Plagueis' son. Did you know that?
What?
Yeah, because he's able to in his attempts to like influence midichlorian and everything, he creates Anakin Skywalker not knowingly, just speaking life into existence, and that's why his mother said,
the immaculate conception.
I carried. There is no father. I carried him.
Yeah,
and I gave birth to him and I raised him.
Let's not talk about that.
That's some retcon shit right there.
That's ridiculous.
That's pretty cool. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, fuck the midichlorians, but that's a good way to take it if there is midichlorians, which I feel like in this universe, like midichlorians are not a thing because he's like the force is around everyone, or she said that.
Yeah,
Maz. It wasn't like, oh yeah, the midichlorians.
Well, the force is the midichlorians.
I know, but she's not like, oh, the midichlorians are in your bloodstream and that's how that works. She's like, no, the force surrounds you, you know?
I feel it too. I know the force.
Yeah,
she says that.
She actually probably knows a little bit of force tricks.
Yeah, I feel like she's force sensitive too.
Yeah, she's not a Jedi.
No,
but
she said
she could probably lift a baseball.
Yeah,
she says,
fuck Yoda on the low.
God, he's been dead for like 30 years at that point.
I know, but she's
ghost.
She looks like friggin' like she's like 75 million years old.
Yeah, she probably used to fuck Yoda all the time. They probably used to
have little get-togethers on Coruscant, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yoda's like, I'm getting too old for this shit. I'm 900 years old, and she's like, I'm a spry 1,000 years old.
And she's like, I can see all the hairs on your dick with these big ass bifocals.
Yo, show me some of them force tricks.
Let me see.
Let me see that force.
Force fuck me.
Oh my god! No wonder Padme wanted to be with Anakin.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah,
it's like making love to Dr. Manhattan,
dude.
Wow.
Yeah. And
you should read that book. Damn it.
All right. Well, on that note, I think that's a good place to end it. DT, plug yourself.
Check us out at Full Court Press Radio, fullcourtpressradio.com, part of the BDB Radio Network.
Brad,
hi.
Plug yourself.
With what toy? I have several toys I can plug myself with.
There you go. I've been Jake.
I'm sorry, family.
You've been pretty awesome. Everyone should like this video. That'd be pretty cool. Also, like if you want to talk theories in the comment section, that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, thanks for talking theories on our other video.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I'm all about talking theories, so I mean it'd be really fun to like live stream one of these and like talk theories with
other people,
online.
Yeah, that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah,
check out the holidays are here, and this isn't Star Wars related, but check out Emergency Pizza on Twitch as we near the year of the duck. Yes. You all, I don't care. It's Duck Dynasty related. It's not Star Wars related.
No.
But there's a new tradition that we started last year where Jake streams Duck Dynasty every New Year's Eve.
And it will be titled Year of the Duck, Emergency Pizza on Twitch. Check that out. It's going to be fun. Subscribe to me. You'll see it.
Yep.
I'll be starting in the morning. I'm starting it fresh. Starting it over. and I'm gonna play through the whole game in one day.
You need a platinum. That you are so close to that platinum.
We'll see if that happens. I don't know. That seems it's like
it's a bitch.
It's like an impossible platinum. I'm like 3 trophies away though. Anyway,